it's a whole nother hustle that comes out of you after you have a kid.
Oh yeah, man. You know, like just the thought that you came out of my balls. Yo, it's your boy KATCHAFADE Worldwide. We're here with one of the coolest people that I know to date.
Gee wee wees.
Yeah, man. Look at him. Go ahead. Go introduce yourself, man.
My name is June, and a lot of people know me as June the Realtor. I like to sell homes. I'm definitely thankful, privileged to be on this pod today to, speak my truth and to just be able to have a platform to speak on, man. Thank you for inviting me out.
Of course, man. Of course. That's something that we actually do agree on and love to do is having a platform for young entrepreneurs, young people that, not even just young, like any age, coming into anything. Like we support y'all because, right now it's tough and you ain't alone. So we out here making noise with y'all.
Absolutely.
You heard?
Well, and we're going to dive into a bunch of different things, right? Like entrepreneurship and family, what it means, like to keep, to have both, right? You got kids. I got kids now.
Oh yeah, man. Fatherhood is a trip.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, man.
But I love it.
Dude, it's another hustle. Like it's a whole nother hustle that comes out of you after you have a kid.
Oh yeah, man. Like just the thought that you came out of my balls. Like
nah, it's crazy to think about. And it's funny too, like growing up as a kid, you always wonder like, damn, what's my kid gonna look like? Like, is my kid gonna look like me? Is it like, what if it comes out ugly or something? I'm just kidding.
Bro, I don't know, man. I think they all ugly.
Hey, shoot, man.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. But you know what? It's cool because, apple don't fall too far from the tree. You know what I'm saying?
I always say that too about my daughter. I'm like, man, thank God she looks like her mom, bro. Like,
right? Like, man, not me.
Be like this Arab Mexican. Come on. Well, like I said, thank you for bringing me on. I think if I could talk just about you real quick, not to glaze, but just to kind of explain my relationship with Josh. I'm really grateful to know him. I think I first met you when I was I feel like I was 12 or 13, right? My dad, for those that don't know, my dad used to have a chain of stores, and Josh used to be a manager of, how many did you cap out at?
I don't know, man, but your dad, man, is one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. He knew how to, on the hustle side, he taught me a lot. I think I got that job. What year was I don't remember. It was back in the day.
Shoot, man. If I was, so he used to do. I remember the first store he opened up was in Chula Vista, and it was he did it
right there by Southwestern College.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he did the second one, Claremont. Third was ECB, El Cajon Boulevard, and that's where I first I think met you because there was a guy named Marcus who interviewed you.
Yep.
And I kind of remember because he was so, you don't know this, but on the back end, he was actually super amped up. Like he was talking to my dad, hyping you up because he had just started interviewing. And so he was kind of the main manager at that point in time.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dope, man.
But anyway, so nonetheless, like the way I know Josh is obviously through work, but it's kind of cool to watch you just flourish and grow after cricket. And that's kind of one of the first questions I was going to ask you was so I don't know what year you left cricket because I probably had a lot of shit going on in my life too. But just talk to me about what happened after cricket and what inspired you into your entrepreneurial ways now.
A great question, man. So after cricket, I was actually during cricket. Let me rephrase this real quick. I was working with your father, right, doing cricket, and I told him that I wanted to become a barber.
Oh,
yeah, and then he shook his head. He did everything in his power to keep me, man. It was it was like I was doing a breakup. I was breaking up with him, and he was like, Josh, what else? What can I do? And he paid me pretty well. That's one thing that at that age, I was like, man, I'm getting paid. This is pretty sick, So when I told him I was gonna be a barber, I was like, sorry, bud,
oh man,
and it wasn't about the money. I was chasing chasing the freedom.
Yes.
I wanted my own hours. I wanted something that I know that I could be very successful. I have control of my destiny, and it was cool,
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I that was it. I enrolled in school, bro. I enrolled in school, and
Oh, so straight after cricket, right into barber school. Mm-hmm. Okay.
no, actually, shout out to your dad again. He allowed me to take certain days off while
no way.
I went to school.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was like, hey, Alvin, I can only do 2 days, 3 days. I don't care, Josh. You know, I'll pay. And yeah, dude, he would pay a salary too. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, just as long as you work about, 30, 40 hours, don't worry. Anytime. Dude, that was cool, so, but life after cricket, bro. I just took off. Shout out to his dad. I'm gonna say this like 1,000 times, right?
Oh, man.
Your father was like a father to me, in the hustle sense. Like, for those who don't know, major credit to this man and his family after what they've accomplished, and like that's one of the big reasons why he's here today.
Yeah.
So much respect.
Oh, 100.
Because everything that we've learned on that side of town, right, in sales and communication and parts of emotional intelligence, right, we would low key finesse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think one of the biggest coins that I learned from my days at cricket and working with my dad is thinking outside the box. I remember him saying that constantly, and he and we talk about this too. But for those that don't know, he would always say like, "I'm gonna teach you things here that you won't learn anywhere else." And it's true though. Shout out to him for that, because you know what, you flew right. Now it's crazy that you mention it, because he didn't want you to leave, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. When you become a business owner, you start to think along those lines. You're like, oh, snap, I got a really top tier salesperson, or I got a top tier employee that's loyal, faithful to me, helping me out.
Yeah.
And so that's where people start getting caught in the rat race, right? Where they're like, okay, well, I can't choose my freedom because I might have to sacrifice and lose money because my boss is now paying me more. And it's funny because we were just talking about that right before you walked in. And I was thinking, you know what, bro? Like sometimes being the number one guy, like when you're owning a company, when you're the president, the CEO, the CFO, whatever, or no, I shouldn't say CFO, but just president, CEO, that person actually ends up dealing with a lot more headache and actually takes less pay than the number two guy. Yep. And the number two guy walks away. But you see the number two guy's got to deal with more problems, right? And so, it's,
hey, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, how about you? There was a time when we did separate. So, what was your timeline before becoming this dope ass realtor?
Well, it's crazy because I swear, you saw me, right? Like I had probably I was running a store like at 15, bro. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and it's kind of crazy to say that, but I ended up graduating high school because my dad homeschooled me at that time. And I was working the store, getting paid while graduating high school is the coolest, dopest thing ever. Shout out, Pops, if you see this, I love you. Thank you for that opportunity. And I learned a lot, right? And I learned a lot, not just about like business, but I learned a lot about people too, because then now here I am and I'm going through life dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. So anyways, nonetheless, like you start growing up, me and my dad are super similar, right? You could kind of tell. Similar, but different. Like
you're your own person, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so he, shout out to him again. At 17, I ended up leaving home, and I was kind of like in a way, I was like forced to like fend for myself and try to find a way to hustle and get out. And so really, where my career first started off with real estate, I was going to tell you this too because it's probably something you don't know yet. But I first started off, and I worked right down the street from here. Selling, no, I wasn't selling, my bad. I was managing properties for Chase. So Chase had foreclosed homes all across the country. And here I am at like 17, and I'm like managing all these different homes across the country for them, making sure that, that properties were maintained and so on and so forth. But unknowingly, like I had to leave cricket after my dad kicked me out, right? So I had to go find my own job, right? And that was already tough to do, but I got it. And then I kind of stumbled into real estate unknowingly. Now, I always loved sales.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
But I like sales in a way that's I feel like I'm benefiting people, right? Where I'm making money on things that are benefiting people's lives, whether that's providing like philanthropy or investment.
Absolutely, man. I feel like that requires a whole lot of emotional intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Man. Just the idea that not many people practice that or understand how it works, like digging deeper is like emotional intelligence is the key.
Oh yeah.
Like I read in this post a couple days ago, right? The guy said the hardest thing to do is to love someone.
Yeah. That's so true, bro.
And wow. And you know, and he's not just talking about people you
family.
already love.
Yeah.
We're talking about people that you fucking hate. You know what I mean? And the hardest thing to do is to love someone. You know, like wow. Shit.
Right.
In reality, you know, but at the same time, I don't know. Hey, you know, Instagram, it's do that little, you know, that little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, all right, back to the subjects. All right, cool, man.
No,
So,
you're good.
Yeah. So after all that,
So, anyways, nonetheless, yeah. After working at the as an asset manager for, I should call it junior asset manager, but with Chase somewhat. One of my boys hit me up, right? So I had finally turned 18, and at the time, bro. So when I left my dad's pad, right, I was kind of forced to stay in my car for a little bit. And I tried going back to my mom's. Obviously, you know, my dad raised me, single father. But my mom told me like, hey, you know what? You can't be out on the street. Come live with me. So I tried that for a little bit. Things still didn't pan out. So I lived there for like 2 months. But the rest of the time, I ended up living in like a church men's home. And I lived in this apartment in Linda Vista with like 6 dudes in there, bro. It was the most filthy fucking thing.
oh my god,
It was like, you know, and you know, I always tell this story, but like, you know, the pipes in Linda Vista are so old that, you know, when you take a shit, bro, you can't just throw it in the toilet, right?
Yep,
you gotta throw it in the trash.
Yep, right next to you, right here, like.
There were some people that would throw it in the fucking toilet. So I had a shower, right, that would always like the toilet would clog and overflow, bro, and the manager wouldn't come out all the time to clean it all up. And so, bro, I'd have to like in the mornings like tiptoe like in some sandals through some nasty ass shit water to take it. Oh, bro, it's like so the struggle kind of started there, but it taught me a lot. And so at 18, I got my job first, my first official job as an adult, right? I was doing loans. That's how really I credit my real estate career to starting there.
Wow.
To loans.
So you was 18 and you got straight into loans. 18,
straight into loans. I didn't know a lick of it. It was like speaking Chinese, bro.
Of course, man.
No offense to my Chinese audience, man.
Hey. Salt and pepper chickens. Shout out.
Fire. Where's Mandarin at?
Fire. For real.
Right off of Plaza.
Yep. Golden chopsticks.
Yep.
Fire.
But nonetheless, so yeah, man. And then so I did that for up until like 2022. But see, I started making good money though, Josh. So in 2020, COVID hit and interest rates dropped, right? So I went from knowing nothing to like, holy shit, I'm a savant because I just pushed out like
a shit ton of work.
A shit ton of
you
loans.
You came into the industry at a perfect fucking time.
Yes,
that's
bro.
amazing.
Yes, bro. And so this is the crazy part, right? So here I am. So I graduated from living on that fucking couch in this men's home, right? And I started living in. I got my own apartment, right? So I get my own apartment, and here I am. I'm like swimming through life, and I don't even know how deep the water is, bro. I'm just swimming, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, maybe I should start. You know, money's good right now, right? I'm making like 20, 30 G's a month, and I'm only fucking 19 years old.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, money's good right now. What should I do, right? And subconsciously, like I was saving already as it is. I remember watching the bank account go like, oh shit, that's like I have 5,000 now. I got 10,000 now. I got 20,000. Oh shit, I got 20,000. Like, right? And I ended up saving up enough money, 2020, to finally put down, a down payment on a house.
Wow,
right?
This is your first property.
Yeah, this was at
first home ever.
Yep, I just turned 21. Fresh, right?
Sick. And how old are you now?
25.
Wow.
25.
So you've been a homeowner for more than damn near what, 4 years?
4 years now.
Going on 5.
Almost going on 5. But you know what? Don't think that, future homeowner out there, don't think that just because you buy a house doesn't mean you won't struggle anymore. That means you got big boy and big girl responsibilities and boom. So, that firsthand.
Yeah. I mean, the hardest part is buying your first one, but now you know how to do it. You know? So like, I'm a big advocate on real estate. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he's here today.
I love that. Nah, man, I think it's, I think personally, if you ask me, so we're talking about freedom, right? Like I think ultimately money doesn't buy, well, money can buy freedom. Let me rephrase that. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys freedom, and freedom gives you happiness, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why we love being in America, right? That's why we love being here, because a lot of us feel free. We all feel free.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent.
To an extent, right?
To an extent.
Some may agree to disagree.
There's rules, right? Right. But in the meantime, yes.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing the game of life and Monopoly.
Right.
In reality, hey, I swear.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you don't want to, that's why, for me, right? So circle back, like I'm walking through Shitwater, and meanwhile, at that time, I'm driving up and down San Diego, seeing homes, you know, left and right. And I'm like, somebody owns those homes, right?
Yeah.
So if they did it, why can't I? What's different than me? Like, I'm not, you know, and somebody's probably fucking like dumb, bro, and owns a home, but you know, I'm gonna make it happen.
You've been doing loans. So
Yeah,
you already see the back end of it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you already knew, like, okay, that's how much I got to make. This is what I got to put down just to get this, and then that. And I'm like, yo, run it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, bro. Well,
that's fire.
subconsciously too, like one of the things that I learned when I was, so after I did my first loan, right? I swear to you, my boss was like looking over my shoulder, and shout out to him. If you're out there, Taylor, and you hear this, man, I know you probably don't like me right now because I left again, but man, I learned a lot from you and some of the other teammates there at Veterans First. But anyways, after I did my first loan, right? I shit you not, bro. The first words out of my mouth was, "Oh man, I feel like I could sell a home."
After the first loan, huh?
Yeah, man. So this is the crazy part too. I was making good money, right? And then I went and bought my real estate books, and I sat on them from 2020 to 2022. And I had, you know, when you do real estate, you got 2 years to take your course or your courses, or they expire. And so I had barely passed my test right in the nick of time. And so anyways, it just goes to show you, man, like there's some things that are set up before you even become an entrepreneur. There's just certain things that's like God starts to align your stars, pretty much. He starts to align your stars, and it's like, oh, this is what I was meant to do. And when you find that, you run with it, you know?
Oh man, it's not by it's all by design.
Absolutely.
And God don't make mistakes.
Not at all. His timing is perfect.
Absolutely.
And so that leads me to ask you, so okay, so you start working in your barber studio. Well, no, let's circle back. So I remember seeing you at, I think it was Faded Craft. No, was it with the one on Bonita Road?
Yeah, Faded Craft. Shout out Faded Craft.
So I remember pulling up on you, right? And you were just barely starting off, like barely getting to work. So what happened? So you're at Faded Craft, you're cutting up. You know, how do you elevate yourself from that point and then get to you know where you're at today with the studio?
And that's a great question. Well, first and foremost, man, damn, I couldn't do this without God.
Yeah.
In reality, just having that connection, like that conviction, that unbreakable belief that you can get shit done. You know, at that time I was at Faded Craft, and I was, to be honest too, I loved them, but I was the only Filipino out there, right? So I low key took it personal, right? So I wanted to fucking see how good I was. So what I would do is compete, right? So I go in the streets and compete. And man, I remember my first one.
I remember that. Yeah, you used to like, I remember seeing your post back then, even with trophies. And you just pull up on, like, you drive to LA. I remember you doing crazy shit.
Bro, like I've failed so many times in this shit to the point where, like, you know, there's probably people out there like, oh, I beat him. Like, okay, but I didn't stop. You know what I mean? Like, the road trophy now is what I have going.
Yeah, man.
In reality, you know, like, anyways, so so I would compete, and then, you know, I just put myself out there, and I just, again, when I believe in something, it's a non-negotiable mentality where I gotta hit my goals, and my goal was to own a shop.
Yeah,
you know, my goal was to buy homes. My goal was financial freedom. You know, being told, like, oh, you're not gonna make it as a barber, especially in the Asian, community. You know, we're supposed to be nurses, doctors, lawyers, police officers, but barber, like, we're looked down. You know,
right.
So I want, you know, I wanted to change that narrative where I can actually influence and show people, yo, you can start from nothing. And then you can become something if you put in the work, you know, and God willing, you'll find this, you know, you'll find your spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's by design.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because you took something that you were passionate about, you ran with it, you went to school for it, and then ultimately turned it into your own business. Like a lot of people, you know, they'll go to school, right, for, you know, be a lawyer, whatever the case, right? And then they just don't do nothing with it, you know? But you took it, you ran with it, and then what was the I think the most beautiful thing is with like entrepreneurs, it's when you bring your idea to fruition, bro, and it's like sometimes you're so like in it, you're not even realizing. You're like, oh damn! But when you take a step back and you realize, it's like, oh my God, like I'm praying for the things I used to have.
Yeah,
now I got it,
and I'm here.
Yeah,
and I got it. Oh, dude, so that's when I go into greatness.
Yeah,
and gratefulness, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm just so thankful.
Yeah,
but damn, I couldn't have done this
without God.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
man.
I'll glory up. Like I kid you not. Like all this is, I prayed for this. I prayed for a family. I prayed for a house. I prayed to be on the podcast. I prayed to have friends like you guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone out there. 2025, we're gonna kill it.
That's right.
I prayed for this. So
say it again. They didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm gonna say it for the people in the back.
Shout out 2025.
We coming for you. Yeah, we coming for you.
Right, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Like, just I had to make so many mistakes though along the way. It wasn't just barbering. Like barbering was the key.
Right.
It was like the first like level.
Right.
Like you just had to get past that, and then from there, you know, the way I look at entrepreneurship, right? It's a personal development plan with the paycheck. Shout out to Anthony from Solar. You gave me that one. But that's what it is. It's a personal development plan with the paycheck.
Right.
So as we grow in this industry and what we do as entrepreneurs, you know, a conversation is a bill of sale.
That's right.
See? So
yeah.
he just got sold because he agreed with what I convicted to him.
That's right.
What I try to say. So if you can do this in a different scenario and actually, you know, capitalize, 'cause
Right.
God bless America. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, yeah.
So it's such a beautiful thing when you break it down, and we make things so complicated when it really shouldn't. And when you realize like you just need the right people, the
That's
right
it.
team,
That's right.
and then anything's possible.
And it's crazy because you start to realize, man, it's like, you know, like God will put certain people in your life at a certain time, and people can have their own opinions on whatever, right? But God will bring certain people into your life at certain times, and that actually, so it's crazy because I know we'll get to like the real estate, the plug, and the solar plug, you know, all that stuff. But I kind of wanted to dive into this with you because a lot of people don't know, but like leaders always got to see things that the people behind don't have to see, right?
Yep.
So when you're a leader, you're leading the pack. Sometimes you got to see some bad stuff to protect the people behind you. And so the way I look at entrepreneurship is it, you know, ultimately the person that's leading has to deal with a lot of pain, right? And,
Absolutely.
And I think the pain brings out your why. So that's kind of where I wanted to start with you, like in that respect, with what you do in entrepreneurship and your businesses. Like, what's your why? Like, what are some of the things, like, you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but your brother, right? He meant a lot to you. Like, you know, I don't think your audience knows that, like, how much he inspired you, your family, your moms. Like, you know, I kind of want to get your take on that and see what the pain points are for you that brought you to where you are today.
Fuck.
I know it's a deep one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. You just named like, you know.
I know.
You went through the whole spam. I wouldn't be the person who I am today without pain. After all the shit I've endured, the stuff I've been through, I mean, I know I can relate to a lot of people. Everyone has lost someone. Everyone has, you know, been through those dark moments, but we're all still here, right? We're all still alive. We're here. But you know, I really wanted to say, because I've been through a lot, your why changes, right? So maybe back in the day, your first why was to buy your first home. Right. That was the why. Like, oh, I'm gonna get it. And then now your why changes to like, it's for my daughter. Right. So in the gist of it all, you know, to answer your question, it's it's a combination, man. Like it's like saying I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know the why, but I'll know the how.
Right.
Because, the why will come, and the what,
Yeah.
the what changes too.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Right. Like as life like brings different situations about, it's like what, like,
Yeah. Not everything. But anyways, I never stopped learning. I always kept thriving, going through things and different challenges. I attacked everything. I leaned toward it, and I failed. I failed so many times, but I think I spoke this crazy quote that I saw on, shout out Instagram. Hey, you know what I mean? Tag me, KATCHAFADE worldwide.
We're trying to blow up 2025. Come on, do something.
Do something with us. If you know about it,
Rock with us.
now you know.
Yeah. If you don't know,
Now you know.
oh.
But you know what hurt me the most though? I've done a lot of emotional intelligence work, right?
Right.
And shout out to Dominic Cruz. He introduced me to this dope ass, community, and also just a way of life, a way of thinking. Like just being endured mentally, right? And this whole thing about victim mentality. A lot of people claim that, I'm the reason why I am because of him or her, like they would blame everything else.
Right.
Like I took this class, bro, and I really cannot talk too much because that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
But one thing that happened during that class was I meditated and I saw my younger self, my 8-year-old me, right? And he looked at me. He said,
Oh, okay. I think I remember this class.
yeah,
Okay.
he said, you told mom you were going to buy her a house. What happened?
Ooh.
You said you were going to be a firefighter. What happened? So it's basically where I'm going at is the person who hurts me the most is me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy, but all these broken promises that I've had that since I was a little kid, dude, like it was a trip. I meditated, bro, and I got to that space, and I talked to my younger self, and he was just like, man, what happened? This is you? And but what's crazy, I was talking back to myself saying like, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna make you happy.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
I can't give out too much of what happened because that class is very special. It's super expensive. But if anyone wants to take it, let me know. Hit my DMs. I'll let you know. I'll put you on because I ain't gatekeeping. I'm all about sharing,
Oh yeah.
sharing the wealth. You know what I mean?
It's crazy you say that, man, because I think, like especially when you're like leading, you're entrepreneur, you're doing things, you're moving, you're hustling and bustling. You think more so. You think about the failures more than sometimes. It's easy to magnify the failures, by the way.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of them. I
Yeah.
got a lot of failures, bro. We're almost there, bro. Hey, I'm telling you, you're a couple more failures to becoming a millionaire.
That's right.
You're a couple more failures to becoming a billionaire, bro. You might be the president of the United States of America. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Hey, but you never know.
I was told that,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can do it. I was like, not today.
Nah.
That's too much pressure. No offense, man. I can barely lead my tribe. You know what I mean? I'm trying to lead my kids and lead my family, my people around me. But
Right.
I do that by just being the part.
No, yeah, bro. I don't know. It's funny because you look back and it's like this is like some deep stuff, but you kind of realize, like for me, I realized like my home. So this is like how life goes in a full circle, right? So I think about like, okay, well, my pain point was like, not having a home growing up, like my parents being split and not really knowing my place or feeling my place, like where I'm at in life, not knowing if I'm enough or too little. And for me, like the way I look at it is like this, like, you magnify, you go through so much failure, right? And your mind battles and whatnot, but then you realize like, holy shit, like I'm actually, going in a full circle because I realized like, so I went through all like, all this pain growing up as a kid, right? Really not knowing my place. My dad's mom actually raised me, by the way. And when she passed like that was like a knife to my heart, right?
Yeah.
So like you start to realize like, where's my home? What's my home?
Where do I belong?
Where do I belong? And you start to realize like you do things subconsciously to not get things taken away from you again. So for me, like when I bought my house, I remember like it didn't hit me till later on, but I was like, you know what? It makes sense why I was going after that the whole time because I didn't want my home taken away from me again.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to. So you start. I don't know. I just feel like some of those things turn into your whys. I'm also a big believer in like negative affirmations. Like somebody told you can't do it.
Oh
or,
yeah, right.
You know, and
negative energy for you to feed off. Right?
Oh yeah, I feel like that.
Shout out Drake.
Yeah, right.
I mean, A minor.
Can we please get a shout out on your story?
I know. Hey, Champagne Papi.
Champagne Poppy.
You and Kendrick, stop fighting.
Yes.
2025.
We need both of y'all back in the lab. We need poetic justice again, bro.
Yes.
Please.
And give me summer 16, the summer 2025. Bro.
Yes.
For real,
we
man.
need that bad.
We need that, man. That was a good little time, man. It was like, you know.
Hey, music that time was so different.
It was dope.
SoundCloud, like rap. I know that, and you think back now, and it was kind of ass back then, but then you look at it now, you're like, oh, this shit was like jumping, bro.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Music, man. Would you have you ever done music?
You know, it's funny. So growing up, you know me, my dad raised me in church, right? So I was always like that kid that was involved with like acting, and I was always that kid that was involved with rapping or singing,
Doing something.
Yeah, man, doing something, because you know my dad had me. We were so like glued into church. We didn't really like. I didn't get to play like football like after, you know, he got into church or nothing. It was like church was everything.
Yeah, church is life.
Church was and you know, yeah.
Oh, I know. Bro.
Yeah, you came out I think a couple times.
I tried to
tried.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but you know,
it's just whatever. Hey, different strokes for different folks,
hey,
right?
for real, man. You know,
and
I get it. You know,
but yeah, no, man, I love rapping. But you know, it's like one of those things. Like you're not gonna see me like post it unless I was gonna do something like in the stew. Then it's a different story.
Oh, hey, y'all heard that? He said he's gonna do something for the school.
If I jump in the studio and I was gonna, you know, put the pen to the pad, all right, then. But I'm not gonna put no corny shit out. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna like.
Not gonna be like that one realtor talk about, you know what I mean? The house is on sale. The house is on sale.
Yeah, man. He's like, I got homes.
There you go.
I
got homes
in different area codes. Area.
I got home.
Yeah. All right. That was the plug. That's the real estate plug right there.
Yeah.
All right. You know, you got the barber studio. Let's talk about solar.
Okay.
Right? So I want to know like who got you into solar, and I also want to know how the fuck you're making a killing on it. Well, I don't want to say killing, but you know, making monies on it.
Yeah. So man, shout out to solar, man. Hey, shout out to Eminent Energies, my boy Anthony. Hey, he's I'll put his I'll shout you out, you know. He's dope, man. And just to start off, like I got into solar during.
That's not Anthony, right? Or is that Anthony?
That's Anthony.
Oh, that's Anthony. Okay,
Yeah. Oh, Outworking You. There you
Outworking
go.
You.
Hey, shout out Outworking You, my guy. My guy. Don't worry, man. You know what I mean.
Shoot.
But anyway, shoot. All right, yeah. So solar, man. Solar is one of the dopest things you can get. You know, everyone who owns a home in San Diego has no other option other than SDG&E, who has a track record of increasing your rates like tremendously.
Hey, hold on. Can I take a second?
Yes.
Hey, if SDG&E, if you can hear me, fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry. You got to edit it out. But SDG&E, fuck you, because you
said it. I didn't say it.
During the summers, hey, in El Cajon, when it's hot as balls and it's straight feeling musty in the house, I hate paying $450 bills, bro.
Oh, bro, if you don't get solar now, it's going to be up to 600, 700. Just wait. You know,
Anyway,
that's called inflation.
Yeah,
you know?
and I would have solar. Me personally, I would have solar. My HOA sucks. So Hell Management, if you're out there, your nickname is Hell Management.
Yeah, I mean, HOA, man, like depending on where you live, unfortunately, it's a pain.
Yeah.
It's a pain. They can't stop you, but they can make it real hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can put it up like you can't do this. So, yeah, I mean, anyways, yeah, man.
That goes to show you, though. Hey, another plug: if you ever buy a house, don't ever, you know, unless you have to, don't buy it in the HOA.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're okay with that.
Unless you're okay with that.
Yeah, you know, my property in Palm Springs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has HOA, but it's only $107.
Oh, that's not. Yeah, see,
Nothing.
like I mean,
Easy.
You'll pay that if they're doing the maintenance and whatever.
Yeah.
like, that's cool. But
The you know my renters pay for it.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. You know,
Bada bing, bada boom. Huh?
it's super easy.
But yeah, oh my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. So people don't like to pay, you know, those kinds of bills.
Oh yeah, man. So you know, you want more control about your electricity. You know, San Diego during the fires, right? A lot of homes had no power. Dude,
That's right.
these are people who have, you know, medical conditions, people that's elderly by themselves. These are people who, you know, they can't just go to the grocery stores. Fridges were being, you know, not cold no more. Like food goes bad. So imagine this, but on a longer scale. Like, when are you going to get it? Is it gonna, you know, do you have to wait for a catastrophe to happen? You know what I'm saying? So, California now, they mandated a battery. Right. So you get two types. You can either get a backup home battery or you can do just a grid side.
Okay.
So the way it works is you got the home, you got the solar, you got the sun. The sun hooks up the solar hooks up the house. That's how it was before. And then all the extra energy you would sell back to SDG&E.
Right.
Now you got a battery. Right. So now the sun hooks up the solar hooks up the battery then distributes, you know,
into the house.
And then what it doesn't use, you can keep it or you can dump it back and then keep whatever money from there, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, you pick and choose what you want, but it is what it is, you know? But it's cool. I recommend a backup, you know, but if you can't afford it, I recommend getting just a battery, you know what I mean? I mean, talk about it. California 2035, right? It's coming around the corner.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, are they actually like requiring it, like 2035? Like, are they gonna try to mandate it on every house, or is it like all new builds? Like
only all new builds and all ADUs that's required to have solar. But I don't know, man. Like looking at Trump, you know, he's not really into the solar thing, but he is, but he's not. He's into, you know, drill baby drill.
Yeah,
you know, so
that means we got to start investing in oil too, or what?
I invest in oil. Now, you know what I mean. Invest in gold.
Invest in gold. Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people, not to sway away from solar, but just to like add that input in, like people, you know, crypto is a big one, right? I think crypto is huge. And I also think something that's really underrated and I don't think enough people are talking about is AI. I think AI, like we're in the infancy stages of AI. Like it's still like not even popping like the way it's going to be, and how it's going to be involved in everyday life.
Oh, absolutely. It already is.
I know.
You know, and it's so you got two options, right? It's like the internet. When the internet popped up, you know, you can either be afraid of it or you're going to embrace it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost evolution. I wouldn't be surprised if AI, you know, like found the flaws in humans and, you know, did some stupid,
some crazy stuff.
Siri, you know what I mean? But I mean, in reality, that's just how how evolution works.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
it's crazy, man. So all right, so back to solar. So like let's say I'm buying a house, right?
Yes.
And you know, I'm doing okay financially. Like I'm gonna buy this house and I want to put solar on it. Like,
yes.
On a typical home, am I gonna drop all that money up front? Do they do payments? Is it lease? And then how much?
Beautiful.
Like how much do I do?
Yeah. So there's 3 ways of doing it, right? Actually, a couple ways. You can pay cash up front, which I don't recommend. You know, you want the warranties and all the good stuff. You got the lease, right? Just straight lease. Right. That one's not really the best. You don't technically own them, but you know, you can get them replaced anytime you want. And there's lease to own, right? Where that one's very popular, where you can pay for it and then zero down. You don't put nothing down. All right. With solar, you don't nothing down. It's just like switching from AT&T to T-Mobile.
No. So you're telling me, hold on. So if you, by the way, I don't know if you door knock or if that's other people too, but like someone knocks on your door, they say, hey, I want to sell you solar. I say, yes, I want solar. You're telling me that I don't have to put any money down whatsoever. I could just start by making payments?
Yeah. It takes a process though, because check this out. Not all homes qualify, right? So there's qualifications, requirements. And then, you know, that's basically what we go through. Okay. You know, you got to have a nice home, roof. The roof need to be good. Electrical got to check out. Homeowner needs to, you know, basically approve.
Right.
You know, because, you know, duh.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much the gist of it.
So it's simple. It's not really like as difficult. Because I was thinking actually it was going to be more difficult. Like for some reason I thought you had to maybe slam down like 4,000 or 5,000. You know, get your foot. Because these people come and they knock on your door and you're like, what the fuck do you want? You know? Or,
Absolutely. Well, check this out, man. Anthony would vouch for me too. I have never, ever knocked on doors.
Really?
I tried, but I didn't want to come off as that's just not the way I sell. Yeah. Yep. You know, I sell by helping my people, you know, feeding my tribe. So that, you know, that's where I hit home. Yep. But, you know, shout out to everyone who's seen this for real. If y'all need solar, right, hit me up. For real, I can probably save you way more than what you're paying for SDG&E and get you a little battery at it, you know?
And some of you guys know too, like you live in East County. I'm telling you, in the summer months, it gets hot. In the winter months, it gets cold, and it's not fun. And you can have that big like swap meet grandma blanket, and that's cool. That helps out. But when you got to step on the tile in the morning, that shit sucks.
Oh, it sucks, man. You know what? We're in 2025.
Yeah.
What you doing, baby?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing? You know, like,
man.
run that back. Go get solar on your crib. You know, and matter of fact, you ain't got to do it. Let me just show you how it works.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Give me a call. DM me. You know, for real, man. Like, it's simple, man. It's just like switching from AT&T to T-Mobile, zero down. You don't pay nothing out of pocket unless you want to purchase it.
Right.
If you want to flat out purchase it, which go ahead. I'm not. That's the cool thing about my company and what I do. Right? We're brokers.
Right.
Right. So we service and partner up with all major solar companies.
Also, like Sunrun.
Sunrun. There's a bunch, man.
Tesla's a big one.
Yeah. So whatever y'all want, we got. Right. And then some people like that. They actually a lot of people like that. You want to be known as a Costco of solar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
Now they're like, oh well, you know, I don't like this one because of this. Like, well, yeah.
It's so
we
funny.
got options.
And it's funny, like even as a broker, right? So you and I both are kind of learning this too. I mean, I've known because like on the real estate side, using that term broker is not a unknown term, right?
Absolutely.
But you know, it's like when you work with a broker, that broker always hustles to find you, number one, the best deal possible. That's why you kind of want to work with a broker to an extent, because the broker is going to try to find you the best deal possible. Now, sometimes I don't know how it works with you. Like sometimes brokers charge upfront fees. Sometimes they'll get you later. But nonetheless, like you want to work with a broker because they get you the best deal longevity wise. But they'll also give you different options. Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to take the first fucking option. You know
exactly. So
look at
that's
some
the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, when you do get solar, they make you sign off on this sheet that you understand that you can compete, right? Mm-hmm. So the way I like to even win customers is like, yo, go ahead, compete. Mm-hmm. Go check.
Yeah, I want you to go look.
Yeah, go look because I know I can beat whatever they offer. 100%. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's one of those things where like, you know, imagine being in an industry where you're helping people save money. Mm-hmm. Come on, bud.
Yeah. No,
Sick.
it's easy. I think, especially here in San Diego, it's just solar's so underrated, man. I mean, Don't be that guy like in Lakeside and you're just, you know, you're
miserable
and you're like, but fuck solar.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do solar.
For real, these communists, you know what I mean? these ching chongs.
Yeah,
you know?
like invest in solar, man. I think that solar, hey, like some people say drill baby drill, but they also say, hey, but we want electric too.
Yeah.
We want greatness out of everything. So don't set yourself back. If you want solar, you should really hit up Josh. Josh knows what he's doing, man, and he's not only like a salesperson, but at the same time, this guy's cool as hell. He's actually a guy you want to get to know, get to be cool with, and his resume shows that. So, anyways, again, I'm not trying to glaze, but that's a plug for my boy. I really want him to win. And
thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely. So I'll be honest with you, right? Like you guys got to hear my story a little bit today. Obviously, Josh knows my story firsthand. He's got to see, like, literally got to see me grow up and get to where I am today. But look, man, like I think a lot of people, if you're looking for a home, right, and you're passionate about finding one, right, kind of like me, right, you feel like you didn't know your place, right, you didn't want your home taken away from you, like, well, then hustle your ass off and buy a house with June the Realtor. I'm saying that to say, like, look, you want to work and surround yourself with people that are filled with compassion, people that love you, and people that ultimately are not just in it for money, right? They're in it to hand you the keys to your home, right? That like my satisfaction, if I could just say this, like my satisfaction is not looking for the home. My satisfaction is actually finding you the home, and more than that is handing you the keys. Ooh. Because I feel like when I hand you that key, first of all, when you find a house, and I've told you this, when you find a house, you know, it has to be where God wants you, because you're going to be doing life there, right? You're going to be cooking, cleaning, raising kids, or maybe not raising kids, but ultimately doing things there, right? That's your commune, your watering hole. That's where you're going. And so, you know, for me, like if you're going to buy a house, buy it with a realtor that gives a shit, you know, somebody that's going to hustle their ass off for you. And Josh knows firsthand.
I know firsthand for sure.
He's seen it. And so, you know.
Tell them where to find you, bro.
So you can find me online. I'm working on a website right now. It's going to be coming soon, JuneTheRealtor.net. I got Instagram, June the Realtor. Nickname is on Facebook is June Milan. By the way, my first name is Ephraim. So if you guys see the name Ephraim, that's my real name. But I go by June because it's Junior. Yeah. Everybody knows me as Little June Junior. Yeah. And so, anyways, that's my little plug for you guys.
Hey, man, and also, man, thanks for coming on the show. It's always gonna be dope, man. Like, and real quick too. So check this out, man. I got this dope ass shirt. I'm about to show you when I stand up. Right, actually in the clip right here below, or maybe swipe. Right. Shout out to Certified, man. It's my boy right here on here, Jeremy Stevens, one of the baddest mother lovers living right now. Hey, you know, we went out to Philly, right? And we went to enemy territory, right? And my boy, Jeremy Stevens, took home the bacon.
Oh, let's go.
You know, like pound per pound, one of the craziest, you know, like I love that guy. Shout out Jeremy. And if you don't know about him, here's some motherfucking clips right here.
Shoo! So I'm super fucking curious. How did you get plugged in with UFC and Dominic Cruz? Like, how did all that happen, bro? I'm just super fanboyed out. Yeah, man. I'm very curious to see like how did that come to play for you? Can I meet him?
Yeah. First off, I just want to say, are you not entertained? Bro, I to this day cannot believe it, right? And how did I do it, bro? It's, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. During COVID, right, a lot of barbers quit. They got scared, bro. They put down the clippers. They didn't want to deal with some disease and all this stuff. However, man, look, if you're a barber and you're studying and if you're in school right now, you have all the tools needed to disinfect, clean, and all that stuff, and all you got to do is wear a mask. Right. So anyways, it was COVID. And my boy Mikey, shout out Mikey, Mikey Strings, he plugged me up with Dominic Cruz's friend. Yeah. So I was kicking it. I was cutting his hair. I cut his hair in the garage. Hey, shout out OJ. You know what I mean?
The other OJ, right?
Yeah, not that one. yeah, not that OJ. But so I cut up OJ, and then OJ was like, "Hey, come over here to can you come to my client's house?" My friend. I was like, "Oh yeah." So I go over there. It was Dominic Cruz.
Shut up.
And it was a trip.
No way.
Such a wow, I'm really here. He's in the hood. You know, hey, I don't know if we can't include too much of that. You know what I mean? But yo, that's how I got in. You know, I got invited just to kick it.
And you guys are like hella cool, though, right? Like you could shoot him a text and he'll respond right back.
Yeah, I'll call him. I'll call Jeremy Stevens. I'll call, you know what I mean?
Oh man, that's so cool.
Goyito.
Hey, but see, that is like one of those things, right? Like right place, right time. And if you weren't cutting up, you would have never met him.
Well, you know what? The biggest lesson for me during that time during COVID was don't fucking quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit. You're one failure away from that millions. You're one failure away of winning gold, striking gold. Like whenever you're tired, bro, like just know you're one more day.
Oh man.
One more, bro. Just one more fucking thing you can do, and then next thing you know, your whole life can change.
It's crazy. I read this book one time, or just last year actually, I should say, and it's called Choose Your Enemies Wisely, right? And it's about it's kind of like knowing your enemy and who that is, and the right enemy too, right? Because you may have enemies, but that don't mean you need to go pick a fight with them.
Absolutely.
And so it's crazy because while other people they chose their enemies wrong, you chose your enemy wisely and took it on, and look what happens. You see? And it's crazy because like only COVID, like there's some crazy things about only COVID could help me buy a house. Like I know that sounds messed up, but there was some things that changed for a lot of people because of that.
Yeah, I bought a house during COVID.
Yeah,
dude, everything was. I had a family, big old family. I was living with my brother in a 2-bedroom apartment in Eastlake. You know, it felt cool. You know, I was like, oh, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
But then I just knew my family was just gonna get bigger and grow, and you know, what the heck am I doing, Dad? You know, like you got to man up. So I went ahead and flirted with the idea with buying my first house, and I was okay with failure. If my loan officer said, Josh, you don't make enough, then I would have been like, okay, well, what do I got to do?
Right.
You know, do I got to get a job? Do I have to do this? And I did.
Right.
So from no's, every no, I just kept going.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Josh, you need this. Okay, get it done. Boom. Hey, Josh, you need this. Okay, I'll get it done. Like, you just getting shit done. Boom, boom, boom. Like, this is how you buy a house? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I can do it again.
Hey, no joke. I say that every time. Look, if you learn something, if you want to hear something from me and take something away from this, listen, buying a house is not difficult.
It's not.
It's not difficult. Don't be scared. It's just all you got to do is ask questions, and that's it. And you get answers.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that was actually the blessing that I've given myself to get the power where I'm at today.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. You know, it's a game of Monopoly. It's a game of life. Sometimes you got to take a gamble on yourself for you to hit. You know, like you're just one more dice roll away.
Yeah.
Bam.
I tell people like this, bro, and I'm gonna tell you this too. Once we get into escrow, you're gonna be stressed out for 30 days, right? Trying to buy a house, you're gonna be stressed out. But then right when you're done, it's gonna feel like you could do it all over, like it was nothing, like it was working out. Like next day you're back at it. Boom.
It's like learning anything, learning how to bike, learning how to play the piano. Once you learn something, it's like that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
You didn't die, right?
Right.
You know, like did you hurt? Did it hurt? Like, yeah,
of course.
Pain. You got to go through it, right? You got to get past it, and then boom, before you know it, you're like, all right, you have two options. Either you like it or you don't. Like, but either way, you tried.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm thankful again. Hey, thanks for having me on the pod. Like, I'm so grateful to again, like, have this privilege and this platform to speak on, man. So
yeah, man, we do this a lot for the people. And quick thing before we close out, I just want to say, if you're going through something right now and you're struggling, you're more than welcome to reach out. We don't talk about mental health a lot for men enough. So, if you're a father out there, if you're a brother out there, if you need something or someone to talk to, your boy's always here.
Yeah.
Reach out, DM me, get a haircut. Matter of fact, just let me know your situation, and let's see as a community how we can, work together and make something happen. Because I'll tell you one thing, man, his dad used to say this too. You're having a bad day, make a sale. You know what I mean? It's gonna make you feel better. Hey, but other than that, hey, we out 2025. We coming in hot. And thanks to June the Realtor. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you, Josh.
And shout out to the MK Lab.
KATCHAFADE.
You know what I mean? Come out here and Mira Mesa. Other than that, man, thank you, man. I appreciate you for everything.
Hey, vice versa, man. KATCHAFADE 2025.
Yes, sir. We out.